Hey everybody, welcome to the Productivity Academy Weekly Live Q&A. Today is the 1st of June and I'm back from traveling, and so this is going to kind of influence excuse me, what we're doing today in two ways. One, I'm going to talk a little bit about some productivity related items having to do with travel. And then two, this is definitely going to be a shorter one because like always, no matter how productive you are, what you're doing, once you come back from a trip where you've been taking care of the things I'm going to talk about, in general, you've got some catch up to do, whether it's, work related or home or everything, which is, in my case, that's what I'm doing. So, really, I found some interesting questions, and I had a question about how can you increase your productivity while traveling, and I would actually kind of change that around and just say, how can you be productive, or how can you be the most productive while you're traveling? And so for me, one of the really, really important things I do is I continue with my schedule. Okay, but I have kind of a bare bones schedule. And what I mean by that is, for me personally, I'll stick with the daily review. So like, I get my notebook out, and this is where I happen to do my daily review, and I go through that, but I also with my calendar and Evernote and go through that, and like it happens unless I'm just taking the day off. Even then, I generally like to just stay on top of things, but that's you've got to have some sort of a foundation, right? Instead of just being like, oh, I'm traveling, and you're gonna forget things or your schedule's off. So you really need that foundation, and then you can build everything on top of that. And then what comes next for me is the kind of triage idea. And that's just saying, okay, take a look at what I've got, how does this fit into my day or my plans that I have while I'm traveling? And then filter it by most important, and then you either get rid of the rest or delegate it or, reschedule it to another time. And that kind of helps do a few things, right? It means nothing's really slipping through the cracks. You're not just ignoring it or not dealing with it. It's been dealt with. So mentally, you're good. And in terms of like if it's an assigned task for work or something like that, you're not dropping the ball. You are recognizing that something needs to be done and you're doing something with it, which just may be rescheduling, but you're taking care of it. And that, for me, is the basic foundation, because everyone's plans are going to be different, because travel is kind of a loose term. Is it a work trip and you're busy and you only have after hours? Are you traveling and visiting family and you've got some stuff going on that you need to take care of, so you got a few hours? So I'm not going to dive into that. If anyone has specific questions about that or ideas on what you do, you can certainly leave a comment and let me know, because I'm sure everyone's got some good ideas on the way they deal with this. But again, just to kind of summarize that, you need to have that foundation, and for me, it's the daily review. I do that every morning, and go through and look at my calendar, look at anywhere you take notes, which for me is Evernote, Todoist, and then my notebook. Okay, and then I'll go through and schedule things like using Focused or one of my apps, whatever I'm using. So yeah, that's it. I find that to be really helpful, and like I said, it's just a really good way to deal with things and to have that foundation so that you're not forgetting anything. So the next question, what are some hacks to be more productive when working while traveling? That's a good one. I think the hack isn't really a hack. It's more of what I was talking about in terms of being consistent, and that the hack is you have this process that works, no matter where you're at. Okay, and maybe you can take that condensed version of saying, okay, I'm going to do that daily review, and that happens no matter where you're at. Because I know for a lot of people, myself included, if you really change your schedule, it really throws you off, and things can get complicated. Things will slip through the cracks. So having that one or two things that you do no matter what is really going to help you out. And so again, that's grabbing the notebook, going through my daily schedule, and then doing a triage of like, okay, here's the realistic stuff I can get done, the rest of it delegate or delay or reschedule. And that for me is like my big hack. That it just makes sure that things don't get lost. And then as far as that, I would say, that general idea is make things simple, but, no simpler than they need to be. Don't cut out too much stuff. And just when you're traveling, try to maintain some sort of a schedule, whether that's, maybe you have to change it, and adapt around a new schedule. but you can try to keep one or two things the same that you're used to doing, so that you're not completely shifting and losing your kind of mental hold on what you're used to do, because that's basically like trying to reform a new habit on the fly, which is crazy and probably won't work. I think we've all been there while we're traveling or on vacation, and you're just like, if it's just totally different, you don't have some sort of a schedule or a set way of doing things, then that can really mess you up. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. If you ever have any questions, just head over to productivity.academy/questions. And if you want to check out previous episodes, you can go to productivity.academy, hit the button on the side, sign up. You'll get email alerts for when we're going live with this. You can ask questions, and you get other cool stuff. So sign up. So anyways, that's it for this week, and I'll see you later.